I should have trusted my instincts. I should have stayed home. But here I am, standing in front of the Holloway Mansion at 3 a.m, watching my breath fog in the October air while my 5 friends check their equipment: cameras, lights, audio recorders, all the gear we need for another Midnight Explorers episode. Another haunted place that isn't really haunted, except this one is different. I can feel it in my bones, in the way the wind seems to whisper through the broken shutters, in the way the shadows move wrong around the collapsed porch. "Sarah, you're being dramatic again," Maya says, adjusting her camera strap. She's our leader, the one who started our YouTube channel 3 years ago. Always rational, always skeptical. It's just an old house. The Holloway Mansion looms before us like a cancer against the star-filled sky. 3 stories of rotting Victorian architecture, with towers that lean at impossible angles and windows that reflect nothing, not even moonlight. Paint peels from its sides like diseased skin. The research I did says it was built in 1847, Jake says, consulting his phone. He's our tech guy, always has the facts. Jeremiah Holloway was some kind of businessman, made his fortune in... Actually, it doesn't say what he did for money. Probably robber baron stuff, offers Emma, our skeptic-in-chief. She's already walking toward the front steps. You know how it was back then? Exploit the workers, get rich, build a creepy house. Marcus laughs, but it sounds forced. Even he seems unsettled, and Marcus never gets unsettled. He's the one who convinced me to come tonight. Maybe superstition keeps you alive. The 6th member of our group, Alex, hasn't said a word since we parked the van. They're standing apart from us, staring up at the mansion's highest tower. The truth is, I've been having the dreams for weeks. Dreams of this place. Dreams of walking through rooms filled with smoke and candlelight. Dreams of voices chanting in languages that hurt to hear. Dreams of friends screaming. Dreams of blood on old wood floors. "Sarah?" Maya's voice cuts through my thoughts. "You coming?" They're all looking at me now, waiting. The mansion waits too, patient as death. Turn around, get in the van, drive away. But I don't. I follow them up the rotting steps, past the front door hanging open like a mouth, into the darkness. The first thing I notice is the smell. Not the mustiness you'd expect from an abandoned house. Something organic and wrong, like flowers left too long in stagnant water, like blood gone bad. "Jesus," Marcus mutters, covering his nose. "What is that?" Emma sweeps her light across the entrance hall, revealing a space that makes no sense. The ceiling disappears into shadow far above us, higher than a 3-story house should allow. The walls are covered in wallpaper that hangs in strips, revealing patches of symbols burned directly into the wood beneath. Not carved, burned. "Check this out," Jake says, aiming his camera at the wall. "These markings, they're deliberate, organized. The symbols spiral across the exposed wood in patterns that hurt to look at directly. They seem to shift when I'm not focusing on them, writhing like living things. "We should split up," Maya announces. "Cover more ground. Sarah and I will take the ground floor. Emma and Marcus, you take the 2nd floor. Jake and Alex, start in the basement." No, don't split up. But I don't say it. Alex nods reluctantly and follows Jake toward the basement door. Emma and Marcus head upstairs, their lights dancing across the walls. Maya and I move through the ground floor methodically. A sitting room with furniture covered in rotting sheets. A dining room with a table set for 12. The plates covered in what might be dust or might be ash. A library with empty shelves and a fireplace large enough to stand in. Everything covered in dust. Everything normal. Too normal. The footage is going to be great, Maya says, panning her camera across a parlor. Very atmospheric. I'm about to respond when I hear it. Singing. Faint. Barely audible. A woman's voice, maybe several women's voices blending together. The melody is beautiful and terrible, rising and falling in harmonies that seem to come from the walls themselves. Do you hear that? I whisper. Maya pauses, listening. Hear what? The singing continues, growing louder. Words I don't recognize in a language that sounds older than civilization. The voices multiply until it sounds like a choir of hundreds. All women. All singing the same impossible song. The singing. I say, my voice barely a breath. Sarah, there's no singing. But there is. It's coming from everywhere now, surrounding us. I have to shout over it. Can't you hear them? Maya stares at me, concern creeping into her expression. I don't hear anything except you yelling. The singing stops. All at once, like someone cut a wire. The silence that follows is worse than the music, heavy and expectant. From upstairs comes the sound of Emma screaming. We run up the grand staircase, our lights bouncing wildly. The second floor is a maze of hallways that stretch further than they should. We find them in what must have been the master bedroom. Marcus is standing perfectly still in the center of the room, his back to us. Emma is pressed against the far wall, her hands covering her mouth. What happened? Maya demands. Emma just shakes her head, her eyes wide and fixed on Marcus. Marcus? I approach him slowly. Are you okay? He doesn't respond. I walk around to face him and his eyes are gone. Not missing. Gone. In their place are two perfectly round holes that go deeper than they should. The edges are smooth, as if something reached into his head and carefully removed his eyes from the inside. He's still breathing. His head turns to track my movement with impossible precision. He can see me. Emma finally speaks, her voice cracked. I was filming the room, and he just stopped, started staring at that mirror. She points to an ornate mirror on the far wall, its surface reflecting nothing but darkness. He stared for maybe 30 seconds, and then he turned around and his eyes were just gone. Marcus smiles, a wide smile that looks wrong on a face without eyes.
The old ones are so beautiful,
he says in a voice that isn't quite his own, too deep, too hollow.
You'll see them soon. We need to run. They've been waiting so long for you to come home.
The temperature drops 20 degrees in an instant. Our breath fogs, and frost begins forming on the windows.
Home?
He said.
Come home.
From somewhere in the house comes the sound of Jake screaming. Then Alex. Then silence. We're leaving, I say, grabbing Maya's arm. Now. But when we turn toward the door, Marcus is standing in front of it. I never saw him move. His empty eye sockets are bleeding now. black blood that steams in the cold air.
You can't leave.
He says.
The ceremony isn't finished.
Maya backs away, finally lowering her camera. Marcus, this isn't funny anymore. It was never funny. Marcus tilts his head at an impossible angle.
The Holloway family has been preparing for this night for 178 years. But the house has been abandoned for decades.
That's impossible, Emma whispers. The last Holloway died in the 1920s. Marcus laughs, and the sound is like breaking glass.
Death is temporary. Faith is eternal.
The mirror begins to glow with sickly green light. In its surface, I can see shapes moving. Human shapes. But wrong. Twisted. Dancing.
The bloodline was broken.
Marcus continues.
But blood calls to blood. The descendants always find their way home. Descendants. Sarah knows.
Marcus says, turning those terrible hollow sockets toward me.
Don't you, Sarah? Don't you remember?
I do remember. Not consciously, but somewhere deeper. The dreams weren't dreams at all. They were memories.
Your great-great-great-grandmother was Constance Holloway,
Marcus says.
Jeremiah's youngest daughter. She tried to run from the family calling, married a man named Patterson, changed her name, moved west.
Patterson, my grandmother's maiden name.
But the blood remembers. The blood always remembers.
The mirror's glow intensifies, and the shapes inside become clearer. People in robes, standing around something that writhes and screams on an altar made of black stone. The something has Emma's face.
Your friends were never meant to leave this place,
Marcus says.
They brought you home just as they were meant to. Their blood will strengthen the ritual. Your blood will complete it.
As if summoned by his words, Emma suddenly goes rigid. Her eyes roll back, showing only white, and she begins walking toward the mirror with mechanical steps. Emma, no! Maya lunges for her, but Emma swats her away with inhuman strength, sending Maya crashing into the wall. Emma reaches the mirror and steps through its surface like walking through water. Gone. He's dead, I say quietly, finally understanding, because I can see it now. The way Marcus stands too still, breathes too slowly, the way his skin has a waxy look, the way he smells like flowers and stagnant water.
I died 3 hours ago.
Marcus confirms.
In the basement. The old ones needed a voice you would trust.
The mirror explodes outward in a shower of glass and green light. Through the empty frame steps a figure in a black robe. Tall, too tall, joints that bend the wrong way. The figure pulls back its hood, revealing a face I recognize from my dreams. Constance Holloway, my great-great-great-grandmother. Except she's been dead for over a century, and death has not been kind to her. Her skin is the color of old parchment, pulled tight over sharp bones. Her hair is white as bone, hanging in lank strings around a face that might have once been beautiful. Her eyes are holes, just like Marcus's, but deeper, hungrier. "Welcome home, child," she says, and her voice is like wind through a graveyard. "We've been waiting for you." The ritual chamber is beneath the basement. Constance leads us down stone steps that spiral into darkness, past walls carved with symbols that hurt to look at. Maya stumbles beside me, her camera forgotten. The air grows thicker as we descend, heavy with the smell of old blood and burning herbs. Marcus follows behind us, his empty sockets weeping black fluid. "How long have you been planning this?" I ask. "Since the moment you were born," Constance replies. "Since the moment your mother carried my blood into the world. We felt you, Sarah. We felt the bloodline reawaken." The dream started when I was 7. 20 years of preparation. We reach the bottom, and I see the ritual chamber. It's vast, impossibly vast. The ceiling disappears into shadow, supported by obsidian pillars. The floor is smooth black stone, inlaid with silver symbols, where the altar stands. Jake is tied to one of the pillars, his head hanging at an unnatural angle. His eyes are gone, but his chest still rises and falls, still alive for the ritual. Alex is spread across the altar, their wrists and ankles bound. Their stomach has been opened, and something dark and writhing moves inside. They're conscious, watching me with pleading eyes. Emma lies on a smaller altar. Her chest rises and falls rapidly, but her eyes are rolled back. Something is growing under her skin, pushing up in lumps that shift and move. "My friends," I whisper. "Your sacrifice," Constance corrects. "Their pain feeds the old ones. Their terror opens the doorway." Around the chamber, figures in black robes stand in perfect silence. Dozens of them. Their faces are hidden, but I can feel their eyes on me. "Your ancestor made a pact with the old ones," Constance explains. "Power in exchange for service. Wealth in exchange for blood. The Holloway line would prosper, and in return, we would serve as vessels for their return." Vessels. The robed figures begin to chant in that same language I heard upstairs. The words crawl into my ears, burrowing into my brain. I understand them. I've always understood them. They're calling for the old ones to wake, to rise, to reclaim the world they once ruled. "You can feel it, can't you?" Constance says. "The pull, the calling. You want to serve them." And she's right. Part of me does want to serve. Part of me wants to kneel and offer myself to whatever ancient power lurks beyond reality. It would be so easy, so peaceful. Maya grabs my hand and the touch breaks the spell. "Sarah, don't listen to her." Alex suddenly arches their back and screams. The thing inside their stomach pushes harder, and I can see it clearly now. A baby. A baby with too many arms and eyes that glow. It's almost ready to be born. Jake stirs against his pillar, his eyeless face turning toward us. When he speaks, his voice is layered with impossible harmonics. "We have waited so long," he says, "so very long to taste this world again." Emma sits up on her altar, movements puppet-like and wrong. The lumps under her skin have organized into patterns, symbols that match the ones carved into the walls. "The stars are almost aligned," Emma says in that same multi-toned voice. "The convergence approaches." They're talking about Maya, the person who brought me here. Was that part of the plan too? Constance reads my thoughts. "Free will is an illusion, child. We have been guiding events for decades. Your friend believes she chose to come here, but the choice was made for her long ago." The chanting grows louder. Around the chamber, the robed figures raise their arms, and I can see their sleeves are empty. No hands, No arms at all? Alex screams again, and the thing inside them pushes forward. A tiny hand breaks through the skin, grasping blindly at the air. Almost born. Say yes, child, and your friend's pain will end quickly, Constance says. Say no, and it will continue forever. Maya sees the uncertainty in my face. Sarah, don't you dare give up on me. I'll do it, I hear myself say. I'll accept the covenant. Just let Maya go. Constance laughs. Oh, child, your friend isn't going anywhere. We need her for the final binding. Of course. There was never going to be a way out. The thing inside Alex finally breaks free, sliding out in a cascade of blood. It's beautiful and terrible, with too many limbs and eyes that reflect impossible colors. The first of the old ones to return. It approaches me with curious movements, its multiple eyes reflecting my face. Sister, it says in a voice like breaking crystal. Welcome home. And despite everything, part of me feels welcomed. Part of me feels like I belong. Your friend will become the anchor, Constance explains. The tie between their world and ours. Her soul will be stretched across the divide, holding the door open permanently. Forever. Maya will suffer forever. You will be the voice, Constance continues, the one who calls the others home. Others. The rest of the bloodline, scattered across the world, all carrying Jeremiah's covenant in their veins, all waiting for the call to return. There are more of us. This isn't just about my friends and me. This is about hundreds, maybe thousands of people who carry Holloway blood. Constance produces a knife from her robes. The blade is black obsidian, carved with moving symbols. The blood of the innocent opens the way, she intones, raising the knife above Maya's chest. This is it. This is the moment Maya dies. Unless. I think about the dreams. Not just recent ones, but older dreams from childhood of being powerful, of commanding shadows, of making impossible things happen with will alone. Dreams of magic. Maybe they weren't just dreams. The knife begins its descent toward Maya's heart, and I reach out with something deeper than my hands. Something in my blood, in the genetic memory of generations. Stop. The knife freezes in midair, vibrating with Constance's struggle against my will. I have power here. I've always had power here. The robed figures turn toward me in unison, their hidden faces reflecting surprise and fear. They're afraid of me. Impossible, Constance hisses. You haven't been initiated. But maybe that's exactly why I can fight her. Maybe the power comes from the bloodline itself, not from their twisted rituals. Maybe I don't need their permission. I push harder, and the knife flies from Constance's grasp. The transformed things that used to be my friends hiss in displeasure. You delay the inevitable, they speak in unison. Maybe, I say, walking toward Maya's altar, but they won't have her. The robed figures move to block my path, but I wave my hand and they scatter like leaves. This power feels natural, right? Like coming home. I reach Maya and dissolve the restraints with a touch. She's free, but even as I help Maya to her feet, I know it's not that simple. The ceremony isn't stopped, just delayed, and I'm still the key they need, You cannot fight your nature forever, Constance says. The bloodline calls to its own. She's right, and I can feel it. Each time I reach for the power, I feel myself changing, more like what I was always meant to be. There's another way, Constance says. Accept your role willingly. Your friend can live, can even leave, for a time. A bargain. Maya grabs my arm. Don't listen to her. Whatever she's offering, it's not worth it. The power in my blood pulses stronger. I can feel the house around us, feel the centuries of death and sacrifice. So much pain, all leading to this moment. I reach deeper into the bloodline, past the conditioning and dreams and centuries of submission, past the fear and loyalty and desperate need to belong, to the source, to Jeremiah himself. And I find something unexpected. He didn't make a deal with the old ones. He trapped them. The truth hits me like lightning. Jeremiah Holloway wasn't a servant of the ancient powers. He was their warden. The mansion isn't a temple. It's a prison. And the bloodline isn't meant to serve them. It's meant to keep them locked away. You lied, I say to Constance. The covenant isn't about service. It's about imprisonment. Her composed mask slips, revealing panic. You understand nothing, child? You're not Constance, I interrupt. You're one of them. You've been wearing her face for over a century, trying to break the prison from the inside. That's why she fled. She was fighting the same battle I am now. The thing wearing Constance's face hisses, its human appearance beginning to slip. The skin ripples, revealing something ancient and hungry underneath.
Clever girl,
It says in a voice like grinding stone.
but cleverness will not save your world.
The transformed things that used to be my friends press closer, but I can see them clearly now. Not vessels, but victims. Puppets dancing on strings. They're still in there, still fighting. Alex, I call out. Emma, Jake. I know you can hear me. The creature that had been Alex tilts its head, confusion flickering across its features. For just a moment, I catch a glimpse of my friend's eyes. Sarah. Alex's voice, faint but present. Help us. The false Constance screams in rage, its human disguise falling away completely. What stands before us now is something that should not exist, a writhing mass of shadow and teeth and too many eyes.
You will not deny us our freedom.
It lunges toward Maya, but I'm ready. I reach out with the full power of the Holloway bloodline, not to serve the old ones, but to bind them, to strengthen the prison that has held them for over a century. The mansion responds. The walls remember their purpose. Chains of silver light erupt from the floor, wrapping around the false Constance and the transformed things that had been my friends. They struggle, but the power of generations flows through me. All the Holloways who came before, lending me their strength. The prison is restored, I say, my voice echoing with harmonics that aren't entirely human. The covenant is renewed. The false Constance writhes in its chains, becoming more abstract, more alien as its connection to our reality weakens.
Others will come. Others will break what you have built.
Maybe, I admit, but not today. And maybe not ever, if I can find the other bloodlines, warn them, prepare them, the chains tighten, and the false constance begins to fade, pulled back into whatever dimension had contained it. The transformed things fade too, but as they disappear, I see their faces again. Their real faces, mouthing silent gratitude. They're free now, finally free. The ritual chamber begins to collapse around us, the magical architecture failing as the old one's influence withdraws. Maya and I run for the stairs, climbing as fast as we can, while stone and shadow crash behind us. The mansion is dying. Its purpose fulfilled. It can finally rest. We burst through the front door just as the entire structure implodes, folding in on itself like a house of cards. Where the Holloway Mansion once stood, there's now only an empty field of grass and wildflowers. As if it had never existed at all, Maya and I stand in the pre-dawn darkness, breathing hard, covered in dust. She looks at me with eyes that have seen too much. "What happens now?" she asks. I think about the power still flowing through my veins, about the responsibility that comes with the Holloway name, about the other bloodlines scattered across the world, probably not even knowing what they carry. The old ones are contained, but not destroyed. The prison holds, but it will need maintenance. Now, I say, I figure out how to do this job properly. Maya nods slowly. Our friends are free, I finish. They're free and they're at peace. I hope that's true. I choose to believe it's true. We walk back toward the van in silence. In my pocket, my phone buzzes with notifications. Missed calls from our subscribers, wondering where the new episode is. There won't be a new episode. This story stays with us. But as we drive away, I'm already thinking about the future, about how to find the other bloodlines, about how to prepare for the next time the old ones try to break free. Because there will be a next time. There's always a next time. And when it comes, I'll be ready. We'll be ready. The Holloway line endures, and the prison holds, for now. 6 months later, I'm researching genealogy websites when the dreams start again. Different dreams this time. Dreams of other places, other prisons, other wardens who need help. Maya brings me coffee and looks over my shoulder at the laptop screen. She stayed with me through everything, helping me understand my new role. She could have left, should have left, but she didn't. "Another one?" she asks, noting the address I'm typing. "Blackwood Sanitarium in Oregon," I confirm. The bloodline traces back to Jeremiah's eldest son, and I've been dreaming about screaming patients and things that crawl through the walls. Another prison failing. Another warden needed. Maya sits down beside me, her own laptop open to plane ticket websites. When do we leave? We. She always says we now. I take her hand, still amazed that she chose to stay, chose to help me carry this burden. But maybe that was always part of the plan too. Maybe some people are meant to be anchors, not for the old ones, but for those who fight them. Tomorrow, I say, we leave tomorrow. And we'll keep leaving, keep traveling, keep maintaining the prisons that hold back the dark. Because someone has to. Because the alternative is unthinkable. Outside my window, the city sleeps peacefully, unaware of the horrors that press against the boundaries of reality, unaware of the ancient things that hunger for their freedom. They don't need to know. They're safe because they don't know. And I'll keep it that way. The Holloway legacy continues, but on my terms now. As a protector, not a servant. As a warden, not a sacrifice. The old ones can wait in their prisons for eternity. I have work to do,